Hello, welcome to another video, this time a random mini dungeon. Before we do that, if you want to pick up any of my maps, I've done quite a few now, digital or physical, and I'll post them out to you. You can also get a copy of the zine, digital and physical, and some original artworks that I've done over on oddartworks.com. You can also pick up any of the prompts for the maps that I've done as well. Right, let's get on with this. So my D20 roll was a 17, which on the original kind of prompt list gives us Cursed Cathedral. Okay, so our entrance is corrupted, so that could be interesting. Our special things are a returning old god and a warped priest, so yeah. Our unusual things are a cursed altar and a sacrificial pit, and our regular things are creepy candles, putrid peasants, and slime. And our exit is a pit. Okay, let's see what we do with that. So I started off with a bit of an isometric kind of grid. With the corrupted entrance, I kind of thought I'll have it kind of an arched kind of church-like doorway. And I wanted to be kind of held together by creepy, weird tentacles. Like there's something very strange going on here. I wanted to make this dungeon quite vertical, rather than, you know, just kind of on one floor. So I really was going to plan on kind of honing in on that sacrificial pit and the returning old god type thing. But as always, I procrastinated a little bit on the door while I was trying to work out exactly what I was going to do. I think I just need to accept this is just part of my process now, and just getting the creepy candles in there. I know they don't look particularly creepy, but they will when I put lights on them. And then our warped priest, so I like the idea of this kind of priest kind of summoning or orchestrating what's going on, but he's been warped, so his face is a mass of tentacles. He's sort of, one of his arms has become this big horrific claw thing, a bit like Vecna out of Stranger Things. And he's sort of got this skull that maybe he's channeling. Maybe the skull is a saint's skull or something like that. And then onto the altar, which I kind of thought this is where he's generated all of this kind of weird warped energy, and there's kind of a giant eyeball kind of emanating from this pile of what will be skulls, and a few creepy crap candles on there as well. So yeah, I really wanted to get that in there fairly early. And I kind of realised I'd kind of covered a lot of the things that I'd got on my prompt list quite early on, which is always a nice thing to do, so you're not worrying. But at the same time, I was a little concerned that I would have everything all in one place, rather than spread out throughout the kind of map. But I think it works in the end. I think it's kind of got a nice kind of flow to it. And decided I wasn't going to put anything else in, so I got that back wall kind of set up. And just filled in some of the brickwork there. It's always quite relaxing doing these sort of little gribbly details. You kind of just turn your brain off a bit and kind of have a little rest while you're trying to solve the next problem that comes up. But I think that's a high in general. And sort of just marking in where I wanted that pit to be, and sort of planning that a little bit. So we're literally just on this kind of floor here. And then I decided I'd put some of my putrid peasants in. And the idea was that they'd just thrown somebody in, so I kind of thought it would be pointless doing a sacrificial pit without a sacrifice. So I kind of made these guys kind of mutated and warped and strange as well. And initially, yeah, I got this one guy with a horn and one eye, and this other guy that's kind of like a big blobby fish thing. And yeah, I was just kind of playing around with kind of weird shapes more than anything else. But I think they work. I think they read as kind of messed up and putrid and a bit strange. And I kind of thought I'd do a few more peasants, kind of like they're part of this ritual. There may be poor peasants that were just kind of caught in here when the ritual started, and the weird magics has kind of changed them, much like what happens in a lot of Call of Cthulhu stuff and H.P. Lovecraft things, you know, that kind of weird kind of body horror thing that happens. And I wanted to put a big kind of guy who's growing a mouth out of his stomach in the background. I would love to tell you I knew where these ideas came from. It just felt right to do it, so I did it. And I am not going to look any further into it than that. And then I thought, well, I'd since I've got pretty much everything up here, I may as well find like the source of the slime. So I did kind of a vent in the wall where this slime is kind of flowing out of, and it gives a little bit of a visual break with the brickwork. And I realised I kind of did the warped priest kind of right on the kind of corner, which I end up fixing in a moment with some dark shadows. And yeah, sometimes things like that happens. You create tangents that you don't really want, and yeah, you just have to find creative ways to get around them. So yeah, that's what I did. I just darkened the corner in a little bit. But that's that floor pretty much done, and like I said, it kind of contains pretty much everything of the dungeon, really. So yeah, it was kind of nice not having to worry about the rest of it. And then I've got my first sacrifice being flung in. So we're just filling in some of that slime and some of that kind of line work shading, and getting some tiles on the edge so that it is like a purpose-built kind of pit. And this whole time I was really thinking about that returning old god and how I was gonna do that. So yeah, I kind of really want this kind of be an image that was almost cut in half. So you've got kind of architectural things, but then kind of more warped things underneath. And I decided I'd do a second sacrifice of somebody being thrown in the pit. Kind of a bit more unsuspecting, kind of going head first. Maybe they're unconscious, which might be the better option. And then just sort of thinking about how this kind of hole is gonna work. And I love the idea of kind of ancient old god type things. That I like to think that they're beings of kind of not matter. They're like energy. When they come to our kind of plane, they have to think about matter and what they want. So I imagine this thing's kind of thought, it's like, I want to reach out to everything, so it's got lots of tentacles, and it wants to see everything, so it's got lots of eyes. So their weird understanding of how matter works is, I like to try and think about it like that. So he's got this gaping maw because he wants to devour everything as well. So yeah, that was my thinking behind it. And for this particular context, I think it works fine. I think if I was doing or writing an adventure that was very focused on something like this, I'd put a bit more thought into it. But yeah, that's essentially it. And then just kind of curving that tunnel off, putting some brickwork in. Now that I'd got it kind of all kind of there. It's a really weird dungeon, this one, but I suppose if any of them was going to be really weird, it should be this one. So yeah, I also did remember to put the exit in, so there's going to be a little pit next to him in a minute, because I was thinking about that. Normally I forget about the exit, but I did remember this time. And just wonky teeth everywhere. I think as a kid I was terrified by the Sarlacc monster in Star Wars, and just a kind of hole in the ground that's going to digest you is something that still kind of worries me a little bit. So it's kind of nice to put your own fears in these things sometimes. And I kind of thought maybe this thing hasn't fully manifested into our world, so that kind of weird wibbly shape underneath him, that's going to be like a kind of a portal he's coming through, which will make more sense, I hope, when I add the colour. And then just having the slime dripping either side, just to kind of frame him a little bit. And yeah, just kind of colouring it in. I realised my camera battery was running out at this point, so I was really rushing to get this done. And I think I got it just about done, because I thought I'm not going to change the battery just for colouring in with the big fat smelly pen. I mean, I do love the big fat smelly pen, don't get me wrong, but is it worth changing your camera battery for? I don't know, because it's not that interesting to watch, but you get the idea of what's going on here. So yeah, I think this drawing took about an hour and 10-15 minutes, something like that. It was quite a quick one, this. Did enjoy doing it, had a lot of fun. And yeah, just getting that dark shadows in there, kind of trying to frame the image nicely, draw attention to the things I need attention drawing to. And this black border always does a really good job with that. And I kind of have to wait about an hour afterwards for the ink to dry so I can do a thorough rubbing out. Then I scan it in, and this is what the original scan looked like. So didn't have too much to fix this time around, so this was my fixed version. Again, just lighten the lights and darken the darks. Just tidied up a few shadows. I don't think I added anything, really. So yeah, it was relatively stress-free, this one. Some of them I have to do a lot of fixes on the computer, but not so much this one. Then the 3 tones of grey brings it all to life quite nicely. I knew there was going to be a lot of special effects in this, so I leave them kind of white at this stage for anything that's going to glow. But yeah, pretty happy with it. And then the colours, I kind of wanted it to be kind of like quite purpley on top and green on the bottom, so it's kind of my base colours kind of reflect that. Kind of trying to keep it quite simple with the colours, because I knew there was going to be a lot of effects. And then it comes to the effects, so lots of glowing things, glowing eyes, the big glowing green glow at the bottom there. And yeah, fairly straightforward, this one. Really happy with it. I added a bit of an outline around the warped priest to kind of make him stand out like he is very special. And then just the title, and then we're done. So I hope you enjoyed this one, folks. Only thing left to do is thank the patrons, so thank you very much, folks. And I will see you on the next one. Take it easy. Bye now.